Hello again, guys and gals. From Farm Workshop. I want to give you a little explanation of what we're going to be doing today before we actually get out to the barn. Yes, we're going to be working in the barn workshop. My daughter has a front step porch on her house that is falling apart from age. So she wanted me to design a new porch. Well, instead of just having a small little stoop with steps up the front, which you kind of come up the patio from the right side of the steps, it's kind of uninviting to have to loop around. And then they got the railing on the right side of the little stoop, and it's kind of awkward. So I said, well, why don't we make a porch that has wraparound stairs to the front and to the end where people would walk up to it. So I designed, I don't know if you can see this well. This is the drawing of, you can see the wraparound step structure here, and then this next part you see in here is going to be the upper tier. So basically it's all going to be made out of, this whole thing is going to be made out of 2x6 treated lumber. So this is just the first layer, the first level of 2x6. I decided to put this structure in here at a Y. All these cuts are going to be 22.5 because we're wrapping around 22.5 all these ends, or 90 degrees, nothing in between, which will work out great. I decided to extend this triangle part here. If I cut it off in here, it could get wonky, you know. But if these are long pieces, and these rectangles you see are actually vertical pieces of 2x6 for legs, because if the concrete isn't exactly right, we're going to shim it up and put these blocks in there screwed you know, down in the vertical plane to support it. So what we're going to do is I drew this up in Microsoft Visio, and I put it on a scale of 1/8 of an inch equals an inch. So and I tried it over and over again to print it and got it right, and I measured it out, and all my dimensions come out perfectly right with my ruler. Now the reason you see the little squares here is I'm going to actually take the miter saw and I'm going to make a 50-50 bevel, you know, on each end of these, so they wrap around correctly. So the top is all going to be covered with like a vinyl planking. It's I can't remember the name of this stuff. They have it at Home Depot. It's not Trex, but it's similar to Trex. It's a vinyl planking, kind of a chocolate brown. And we're going to cover the sides and the front edges of the steps and everything. So the whole thing is going to be covered with the vinyl planking. It's going to be heavy because I ended up buying, I believe, 9 2x6x8s and 6 12-foot pieces of the vinyl decking. If I don't have enough, they have it right over at the store. I'd rather not have enough and go get a couple more than I would to have to, you know, take a whole bunch back. Alright, so we're going to go out to the barn and we're going to do this project. Alright, so now we're back in the barn. Oops, got my drawing upside down. What we're going to do is we're going to just start by cutting these 4 pieces right here, and then I may build this triangle and try to make it all fit together. We've got to have these, make sure these are 90 degrees, and I'm just going to scale off on these. Alright, so what we've got is the first drawing, the first measurement off the drawing is 55 inches. And I have my dust collector all set up, so it's going to get noisy. No, it's not. I don't have its breaker on. Now it's going to get noisy. I want to trim a little bit off at the ends of these every time, just to give me a good square edge. I got my dust collector sucking it through here. Let me suck up here. Nice to have a moment, so. Now, I could measure these with great precision, but I ain't gonna. perimeter of the base. You don't need to see the whole process. I'll show you when I get that ready. Well, here we are. We have most of the base finished. I've been scaling off the drawing, and we did do a couple of things wrong. I ended up putting this one on the outside of this corner, and it screwed up the whole measurements. But once we got it set up and the right degrees cut, see the center right there is perfect, where there's going to be a block eventually put in here like a little leg. And that'll help support the steps so they don't bounce when they step on them. So I'm going to cut this piece, I'm going to measure this piece, and I'm going to measure it off the drawing and see if I get the same measurements. All right. I checked these corners for square with the framing square on the rest of the frame, and the back square corners are square. So you can see these spreaders that I nailed in there, and I measured the distance at the far end and here, so they're all parallel now. So with this should be, let's see, that says 24 inches exactly. I'm going to scale it off my drawing and see if I come up with basically 3 inches. And if that happens, we're in pig heaven. All right, let's see here. 24 inches would be 3 inches on here, 2 feet. And look at that. Just a smidge under on the drawing. But it still should be 24. And I think that's what I got when I measured. So isn't that cool? Visio actually printed it perfectly to scale on the drawing, so I could scale off the drawing. That's making things so much easier. Yeah, that's just a hair, just a blade width less than 24. That's what I'm going to go with. All right. See what I got over here by the saw. I got anything left? Oh, I got to start with a new one. I got my bar fridge started in here. It's kind of nice to have my miter table jig set up here. So, and of course it's nice green and juicy. Treated lumber. My grandson's helping me out doing this. And the wife, of course. The spouse is always around when you need her. She's a jobber. let's see if she fits. I had cut 22 degrees on this to use as a template. Look at that, guys. Right off the drawing and right off the thing. There's our woohoo! That's a woohoo to me. Now, another little trick is I want my, I'm going to measure these, not off the drawing. But if you want this one to line up correctly, hopefully this will be 12 inches from the front if my calculations were correct. I gotta come into it square. Whoops, no! I forgot this wasn't really attached very well, was it? That'll be fine. We're gonna put them in at 12 inch anyway. So we're gonna kinda have to toenail these. I'm gonna lift this bugger up because it's on the hinge. This was the van bed I built a few years back, if you remember. Let's see, can I screw that in from there? Yes, I can. That's going to be a bitch. No, that won't be too bad. I'm going to toenail it at the top and put a screw in the top first to keep this from creeping. And I want to keep that down too. Help me understand this, Eric. Ratatouille. How am I going to do this? I can't. I got time to eat. Time to eat. Pizza's here. Well, after a pizza for dinner break, I finished cutting these. Of course, these angles are all 22 and a half. So there's the base, and you can see the shape of the steps. And then you can see the top landing is going to be inside that area, which is 4 feet by 42. 4 by 3.5 feet. And yeah, this will be very decorative on her front patio entryway. All right, well, tomorrow it's another day. We'll be back. So I ran into a small sizing problem. I had designed originally these steps to be 1 foot wide. Well, my material is only 5 1/4, so that comes out to 10 1/2. That leaves 1.5 inches of unfilled gaps. So I decided to cut 1 1/4 off the ends of these. So I just did that, marked them out with my skill saw. Now I've got to recut the outer frame members a little shorter to fit. So that's all I'm doing. I'm going to brad nail these in place so that's a lot easier to screw them so they're not flopping all over. Had to get out the big gun. The other one's jammed, of course, when you need it. This puppy will do it though. Great. course, these are starting to warp. Drying these in at an angle so I'm not so close to the end, not to split the wood. This old DeWalt I've had for many years. The old dog. Alright. Gotta watch that framing nail, there's a beast. Seems pretty flush. Alright, well, see what I'm doing, I gotta do the same. This one over here, I'm just gonna mark them and screw them back in. Get back to where we left off yesterday, basically. Alright, so what I'm doing is I think I want to mount it flat, like this. Will be plenty strong to support the tips of that, and then I don't have to worry about trying to catch the edge of the joist if it's off by a hair, or if I have to wangle the decking a little bit. You know what a line go? You know what a line burn? All right. Let's see if this is going to fit. Oh yeah. I'm going to shave just a shading off the end of this. What kind of a measurement was that? A shading. I'm going to be behind you. I'm a trustworthy person. Oops, I didn't run the dust collector. I'm a bad boy. There we go. Just a schmick. See, now a way to do this, you use the black wood, put it across the corner. So I'm going to screw the end to hold it, now just the other end, even though it's off the hair. Just two. Don't keep it from twisting any. There. You see what I'm doing this because this other board is going to come around here, wrap around. I need something to support the end of the planks going this way because my next rafter is going to be like here and here. So that's the name of that tune. All right, you see what I'm doing? I'm going to do the same here. I'm just going to have to cut a long 22.5 degree miter on that. I guess I'll show you how I'm marking this. I put some blocks under this end to hold this up square against this end. Make sure it's nice and square. Line it up with this, and then I just take my pencil underneath. And I got a pretty darn good line. I'm just going to cut that with the skill saw. This is the side I want. The problem is I don't want that to drop off either, so you don't want to watch me cut my leg off or something. And as you can see, my cut was pretty much perfect. And what this will do also is this will tighten this whole structure up, because this will hold that angle and keep my perfect square here. So I'm just going to run a screw in here and a screw in there because it's a little low. I don't have anything to wedge it up with, and because I can't, I can't wedge it in because it's a tapered cut. Normally if you cut it just a little tight, you can wedge it in there. So oh wow, that is about perfect, she said. Put this one down here to bring that up. But yeah, that's pretty much that on. Sound like a chicken. Oh, there's that guy. And we'll just hold that guy. Good, I need you to push against that. It's all about pushing and shoving, Alright, well that's in. So my two rafters, or my two joists, rafters, whatever you want to call them, measured out to 38 1/8 and a smidge. So I'm just going to cut this square. Now you don't want to mark them all because every time you'll lose the blade width. So you can't do that unless you're just trying to cut a rough dimension. This stuff is heavy, man. Gotta get my smidge here. Just about dang right. I have pretty good intuition for estimation like that. All right, let's see if I can get these in there. Oh, I know what to do. I got some blocks left here. They'll come pretty close. Because I cut them 6.5, I think. Check for a crown. That looks like the crown right there. I don't want to bulge this too much either. No, it's not going to be. The board is actually longer corner to corner, that's why it's I don't need that block under there. Push me square. My eyeball is pretty good, but better with a speed square, ain't it? If I can find the dang thing. Too many tools and too many places to hide them. What the frig? Oh dear. Guess I'll just, oh, here we go. Will that fit down in there? No. There we go. Right, exactly right. I mean, maybe a 30-second farther over on the bottom. I'm going to use the big screws on these rafters. Main entrance of the house, so then I'll put a small one in the middle. Alright, well that's all there is to that. I'm going to finish these up. Then we'll come back and look at it.